Mississippi is often known for its blues music, the great river that runs through its heart, and a long history that helped shape America. Beyond its bigger cities like Jackson, Gulfport, and Southaven that shine bright with lights, there are small towns filled with more diverse stories. Some are unique in culture and tradition, some live in isolation far from civilization, others struggle with heavy challenges, and some have vanished over time, becoming ghost towns. Today, we're going to explore at least 15 small towns in Mississippi, each falling into different categories, from the most unique, most remote, and worst off, to the truly abandoned. Let's start this journey by visiting one of the most unique towns. Tupelo always has a way of making people remember it. Sure, it's not a huge city, but the world knows it as the birthplace of Elvis Presley. From the simple wooden house where the legend was raised, to the museum now visited by many, it all speaks to the powerful cultural legacy born from this small town. Aside from music, Tupelo also offers natural beauty that's just as captivating, like the Natchez Trace Parkway that winds through calm, green landscapes. Its population is over 37,000, most of whom live at a relaxed pace, as if moving in sync with the history they protect. From here, Mississippi shows its unique face. A simple small town that ended up having global influence. And this musical legacy leads us to another town, one with a very different cultural rhythm. If you've ever heard the story of Clarksdale, or if you're a fan of blues music, you'll understand exactly why it's one of the most unique towns on this list. That's right, this town is often called the heart of the blues. At one point in time, the cotton fields of the Delta were filled with the soft songs of laborers, and from those voices, a sound was born that would later reach the world. Today, that heritage still lives on, especially in small clubs where acoustic guitars and harmonicas blend in humble rooms. Beyond that, the town streets are filled with murals that capture the blues spirit and legends like Muddy Waters and Robert Johnson. The annual Blues Festival draws visitors from all over, turning this town into a meeting point between the past and the present. Yes, Clarksdale teaches us that a small town can stand tall if it has a strong identity. But do you believe Robert Johnson really sold his soul to the devil? If Clarksdale speaks through music, this next town shows its colors through flowers and traditions. As its name suggests, Crystal Springs has a different kind of charm. It was once known as the tomato capital of the world, thanks to its booming agriculture. Now, that title has shifted to one of blooming flowers and lively festivals held each year. Residents gather to celebrate harvest season with parades, music, and small street bazaars. It may be a small town, but every corner is alive with the vibrant flowers that the locals take pride in. There's a warm sense of community where old traditions are kept alive without losing step with the future, even though the population is just over 4,000. Yes, no matter what, Crystal Springs shows a unique side of Mississippi through its agriculture and grassroots culture. However, not every town in this state has a story as beautiful as the ones before. Some are marked by serious challenges, and one of them is Laurel. Laurel was once a prosperous city thanks to the booming lumber industry in the early 20th century. The old buildings still standing today are witnesses to that golden era. But behind the charm of its classic architecture, Laurel now struggles with high crime rates. With 60 crimes per 1,000 residents, it ranks as one of the most dangerous cities in 2025. Violent crime reaches 10.2 per 1,000, 5 times the state average, and property crime has soared to 49.3 per 1,000. Incidents of rape, assault, and burglary are especially common near the downtown area, making many residents feel unsafe walking outside, especially at night. Even so, the city hasn't completely lost its appeal. Some locals are working to revive the city's old spirit through art and revitalization programs. Laurel is a picture of contrast, where historical beauty meets a harsh reality. From Laurel, we head to the Delta, where a small town faces an even heavier burden: extreme poverty. With a population of just around 130 people, Glendora might be unfamiliar to many, but its story is deeply moving. An estimated 90% of its residents live below the poverty line, making it one of the poorest towns in America. Look around, and you'll see quiet streets, many abandoned or run-down homes, reflecting the daily hardships faced by its people. Yet Glendora holds undeniable historical significance. The town is closely linked to the story of Emmett Till, the black teenager whose death helped ignite the civil rights movement in the 1950s. If Glendora shows us extreme poverty, Pickens reveals a different side of decline, a small town seemingly frozen in time. Its economy is stagnant, job opportunities are scarce, and many residents have to leave town just to earn a living. The main street is still lined with old buildings that give off a classic charm, but behind that, daily life is marked by limitations. Several efforts have been made to revive economic activity, but results remain hard to see. In the end, Pickens shows another face of Mississippi, a small town with history, now struggling just to stay afloat. And that struggle feels even heavier in Goodman, a small town with its own tragic story. Despite its name, this town has made headlines in the past due to shootings and natural disasters. Storms have destroyed modest homes, while violence has left residents living in fear. Still, the town continues to push forward. Daily life moves slowly, and with a population of just over 1,000 people, they rely on each other in their close-knit community. The community college located in the town is one bright spot, offering hope for education to the younger generation. Not far from there is Tchula, a small town whose story is filled with deep inequality. Yes, this town is often listed as one of the worst in Mississippi. Despite having fertile land, the disparity is obvious. A small portion of people live in comfort, while the majority live with very little. This paints a sharp contrast between the town's potential and the reality its people face. In various reports, this severe inequality is rooted in a history of racial discrimination and economic hardship, with the town's mostly black population experiencing high poverty rates. Ironically, Tchula sits along the old Northern Highway route from Jackson, the final stop in the 1961 Freedom Ride against segregation during the Civil Rights Movement. The story grows darker as we turn to Lexington, a town still haunted by the issue of racism. Yes, Lexington is a small town with a complicated history. Racial tensions still often surface here, creating ongoing conflict among residents. Even though the town looks calm on the outside, beneath the surface lies a social wound that runs deep. Crimes, even deadly ones, are not uncommon. And sadly, when victims try to report them, they sometimes face mistreatment. Some reports have even highlighted discrimination within local law enforcement, making Lexington a symbol of unresolved problems in America. Still, this town is also home to people fighting for change, trying to build safe spaces for the next generation. Lexington reminds us that small-town life doesn't always mean peace and quiet. From a town filled with social conflict, we move to a quieter corner of Mississippi, one that feels far removed from the outside world. First, there's Shuqualak, a town that seems tucked away in the Mississippi woods. With a very small population, only around 300 people, life here moves in silence. There aren't many modern facilities, and residents rely on their tight-knit community for daily needs. For some, the isolation is difficult, but for others, it's part of the charm. Still, this town is home to the historic Shuqualak Lumber Company, founded in 1948 and still family-owned. Not long ago, a major investment of around $418 million was made by Huber Engineered Woods for development, especially the construction of a new plant. That quiet atmosphere continues in Tishomingo, a town nestled in the hills. Located in the northeastern part of Mississippi, it's surrounded by rolling hills and sits near Tishomingo State Park. Its remoteness is undeniable, making it feel cut off from the outside world. Even so, its natural beauty makes the town an ideal escape. Roads lined with trees give off a peaceful feeling rarely found elsewhere. Locals live simply, with many depending on small-scale tourism from the nearby state park. And while Tishomingo stands out for its nature, this next town speaks volumes through its history. Rienzi is known as a tiny town rich in heritage. Its name comes from the horse of Union General Philip Sheridan in 1862, and during the Civil War, Rienzi served as an important location. Because of this, the town has a commercial historic district listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Today, the town is much quieter, almost silent. Narrow streets and modest buildings make it feel like stepping into the past. With a small population of just about 200 people, social life here is close-knit. where everyone knows everyone else. Yes, Rienzi is a perfect example of how a small town can preserve its identity, even as the world around it continues to change. From the simplicity of Rienzi, we move on to another small and equally quiet town, Shubuta in Clark County. You might not hear much about this town, but once you set foot there, it feels like flipping open an old history book few people read anymore. The main street isn't busy. A few old wooden buildings still stand, their paint faded, and the old shops that once buzzed with life now only open from time to time. What makes Shubuta special isn't just the stillness, but the familiar, close-knit feeling among its residents. Everyone knows each other, and small conversations on front porches or at the corner store create a simple, warm social rhythm. But not all small towns in Mississippi are still inhabited. Some, on the other hand, have become nothing more than memories. One of those is Rodney, a town now known as a ghost town. Long before things changed, Rodney was a busy port town on the banks of the Mississippi River. In the 19th century, it was even close to becoming the state capital. But fate had other plans. The river changed course and left Rodney isolated. Now, all that remains are old buildings, including a historic church that still stands in the middle of silence. Visiting Rodney feels like stepping into a frozen past. This town serves as a reminder of how quickly prosperity can vanish when nature takes control. And if Rodney is known as Mississippi's most legendary ghost town, Camargo holds a similar, chilling silence. Once, it was a small riverside community that served as a stop for traders and plantation workers. But as trade routes shifted and agriculture declined, life in Camargo slowly faded away. Today, all that's left is a shadow of the past. Roads once filled with activity are now overgrown with weeds. Old buildings have collapsed without a trace, and the only sounds of life come from the stories passed down by locals. Camargo feels like it was swallowed by the earth, leaving behind a mysterious aura that makes anyone wonder, what was it like to live here when the town was still alive? In the end, these 15 small towns in Mississippi give us a diverse portrait of life. Some are rich in culture and uniqueness. Others struggle with poverty and social issues. Some live in isolation, and others have completely disappeared. Mississippi isn't just about big cities or music history. It's also about the small towns that hold stories just as important. From Tupelo to Prentice, each town teaches us something about resilience, loss, and legacy. If there's another small Mississippi town you think we should talk about, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for our next journey.